We're taking your plant and garden calls today.
The number to call is 608-270-9933. Lisa Briggs joins us live from the Brew's Company. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. Keeping cool?
There's actually a breeze out here, so it's not too bad. If we were in the greenhouse, it would be a completely different story.
Yeah, you're in the main building. That's a good idea. All right, let's go to Tom in Middleton. Hi, Tom. What's your question?
Lisa, can I plant my tomato plants yet? And what is the recommendation for depth? I keep hearing different things. And do you mix peat moss with your dirt and fertilizer and watering? Can you give me a tomatoes for dummies?
Sure. So if they're going in pots, I like to do a mix of potting soil and compost. If they're going into the ground, mix some compost in with the soil that you already have. As far as depth, you can, now this is not a tomato, this is a coleus. You can on a tomato nip off the lower leaves and then plant it deeper. And then along where you took those leaves off, roots will come out. That's really important if you're doing tomatoes that have big fruit, because that gives them extra stabilization. Now, as far as the timing is concerned, you know, your guess is as good as mine. I think you can certainly have them outside during nice days and outside at night, as long as the temperature is going to be above like 48. If you're planting them out and it gets colder than that, they're just going to need some protection.
All right.
A little bit of floating row cover, a sheet, a pot, or a box upside down will help.
It's going to cool off.
Yeah.
So maybe a little patience.
But it's the night temps that are the critical issue.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Mike in South Wayne. Hi, Mike. What's your question?
Hi, Lisa. I've got an established asparagus bed, about 7 years old.
Okay.
And we've been eating feeds off of it now for about 3 weeks, real nice-looking spears. Lately, they're coming out of the ground, and they're curling down, like they're almost like goosenecks heading back to the soil from the top down. Do you know why that would be?
I don't know why.
Okay.
I would certainly say that if your bed is older, you probably want to put some fertilizer in there. You can do that when you're done. You can either do like an Espoma, an organic broadcast fertilizer now, or you can, when you put your asparagus bed to bed in the fall, you can put some compost or some well-rotted manure in there. That will help with the fertility. Asparagus are heavy feeders. Sometimes when we see plants kind of contorting, we wonder if maybe there's a little pesticide drift somewhere, that somebody sprayed some herbicide and it sort of drifted into your area. When we see like crooking or twisting or contorting, it might be that.
Okay.
Hard to know without seeing it though.
Yep. The gentleman across the road did spray the fields.
So a little Roundup on a windy day, that will cause a lot of problems.
All right. Well,
Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Sounds good. Betty from Janesville. Hi, Betty. What's your question?
My question is we had a beautiful magnolia bush last year, overbloomed itself, I think, and this year it is not coming out with leaves, or the buds are real tiny, and it's died.
Okay, well, what you'd want to do first is check and see if the stems are flexible. Take your thumbnail and maybe flick off a little bit of bark and see if it's green underneath. A lot of varieties of magnolias will flower first and then leaf out as the flowers are finishing up. And since everything's so slow this year, it just might be that. So if you've still got green tissue underneath the bark, I would just sit tight and wait and see what happens. If it doesn't continue to develop, then take some photos and send them to us at plantdesk@brucecompany.com. We'll take a look and see if we can see something else going on.
All right. Boy, things are late. I haven't seen any lilacs yet.
Not yet. No.
Yeah,
I know. Everything is really weirdly spaced out this year.
let's go to Kate in Madison. Hi, Kate. What's your question?
Hi there. I am looking to plant a flowering, decorative, medium-sized tree, but I'm looking for something that doesn't drop any seeds or, berries or fruit on the ground. I have a dog that will eat anything, and that's not a good idea.
Well, I would say that one of my favorites is a serviceberry. It's a native of the Midwest. It gets white flowers in the spring, probably 15 to 20 feet tall, a little bit narrower than that, gets great fall color. It does have a fruit that develops in the midsummer, and birds love it, so you won't have anything dropping on the ground.
I think the city planted those in my terrace. That sounds like the trees that...
They're amazing.
We have time for one more? All right, let's go to Jenny in Madison. Hi, Jenny.
Hi
Hi there. See, Lisa, I got a lavender tree for Mother's Day, and it's gorgeous. Two questions. Should I transplant it out of its 6-inch plastic pot? And secondly, what are the chances that I can get it to winter over?
So lavender can be kind of tough to winter over. So first of all, you can put it in a bigger container if you want to, something a little more decorative, or you can just set that pot that it's growing in now right inside of a decorative pot and then take it out to water it. As far as wintering over, the trick with lavenders and rosemary are in the same sort of boat is that they need humidity but not overwatering. So you want to let it dry between waterings, but maybe put it on a humidity tray in a sunny spot, but kind of cooler and not near like a heat register or something like that. You'll have the best luck.
It's not going to survive outside over the winter.
No, it will not. Not in a tree form, it won't. There are some lavenders that are hardy here, but those tree forms generally not.
All right. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll do this again soon, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for calling in.